Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Two news stories. Firstly, Tigray fighters today officially started laying down arms. Tigray fighters are surrendering light weapons. ENDF senior military leadership started the process of DDR in Mekelle today. Why is TPLF silent? Not a single statement from the Bratzian group so far. Secondly, protests erupted in Oromia today. In at least two universities, students protested against what happened in North Shoa. But students are not allowed to come out to protest. Why? I mean, we've seen peace rallies held across Oromia. Government said it wasn't behind the rallies. Why aren't students being allowed to protest in public in Oromia? Let's start from Tigray, viewers. We know that it was announced yesterday that from Thursday, DDR will start disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of Tigray fighters. So, disarmament began in Tigray this morning. 75,000 Tigray fighters will surrender their arms in the next 4 months. And today, 320 Tigray fighters laid down arms. They entered a camp in Mekelle. The camps have been established in three cities: Mekelle, Idaga Hamas, and Adwa. 300 will enter camps on daily basis. The process of demobilization of 75,000 Tigray fighters will be completed in 4 months. The demobilized Tigray fighters will be given money to how much not clear. Uh, is the money going to be enough for them to start a business? We don't know. We'll have to wait to see how much they're going to be paid. International community is funding DDR. They are providing funds for demobilization of Tigray fighters. An ENDF general spoke in Mekelle at the ceremony organized for DDR. His name is Darbe Mekuriao, and he spoke in a very mature and responsible manner. He said, DDR should not be seen as someone's defeat or humiliation. It is just meant to steer the country towards unity and peace. Basically, foundations for peace and prosperity are being laid in Tigray. This is what he said. Obviously, he wanted to save Tigray government, Tigray fighters from embarrassment, because if you remember, during the war, it was consistent position of TPLF that there'll never be disarmament of Tigray Defense Force. They used to call Tigray fighters Tigray Defense Force. They used to call Tigray fighters Tigray military. But in Pretoria, we saw that they agreed to disarm, demobilize, and if you remember, they linked disarmament to withdrawal of non-ENDF forces too. But again, they are withdrawing from this condition too. Though this DDR will take years to complete. Tigray has around 10,000 soldiers. 75,000 will be disarmed, demobilized in 4 months. So entire DDR will take around a year, more than a year to be completed. Hopefully, everything goes well in the next 12 months. Why is TPLF silent? Not a single statement from TPLF about DDR. Will it welcome DDR? Will it criticize Gitacho government for pressing ahead with DDR while other issues like disputed territories, return of IDPs, withdrawal of non-END forces are still unsolved? We'll have to wait. Mysteriously, TPLF, the Bratzian group, is silent, but If it issues a statement to criticize DDR, it won't go well with the federal government. It won't go well with Tigray military too, Tigray security forces too. So maybe TPLF won't criticize DDR, but we'll have to wait to see what TPLF wants to say. Second was protests erupted in the Oromia region today from at least two universities. We received reports about student protests there. I did a video last night. I told you about a horrific video in circulation showing a youth slaughtered in Dera, North Shore. Most sources say that the youths being slaughtered in Dera was Oromo, and extremist Amharas were behind this horrific incident. But I would say that investigation should be conducted. It's the responsibility of the government institutions to conduct transparent investigation and punish the perpetrators, whether they are Oromos, Amharas, Tigrayans, government people. Keeping ethnicity and status of the perpetrators aside, security forces, law enforcement agencies should conduct impartial investigation, which is not very likely, by the way. Students took to the streets, or you can say they tried to take to the streets today in Oromia. At least at two university students protested in Oromia today. Ambo University, from where we received a report that students protested inside the university. Secondly, Gemma University, where students boycotted meals served to them. They protested inside the university. Staff was unable to enter. Police intervened. The protesters were dispersed, and then staff was allowed to enter the university academic campus. Students are not allowed to protest publicly. Why? I mean, we have been seeing huge rallies for peace in Oromia. Thousands of people took to the streets in Oromia to call for peace. Oromia government said back then, recently, that it wasn't behind the peace rallies. People themselves wanted to put pressure upon armed groups through these rallies so the talks could start and armed groups could lay down arms. Government is not behind the rallies, government claim. Everyone knows that it is the government which is organizing the rallies. If government allows people to protest for peace, why doesn't it allow students to protest? Students' protest is unacceptable in Oromia. Any type of protest which is not allowed by the government is unacceptable. Why? Because protests turn into anti-government movements. You saw what happened in Kenya. A simple protest turned into a serious challenge for Ruto. Ruto had to fire his entire cabinet. And we know that Kio movement was basically a youth movement too. Students were part of that movement too. That is why students won't be allowed to come out of universities to protest. Firstly. Secondly, I think instead of blaming an entire ethnic group for the incident in Dera, protesters should call for independent, impartial investigation. And we cannot blame each and every Amhara. We don't know who killed the youth, who slaughtered the youth in North Shore, Dera. The incident did happen. What is needed is impartial investigation. That is what protesters should call for. They should not criticize other ethnic groups, because this incident should not lead to more ethnic Oromo Amhara tension. If it happens, it means that maybe the perpetrators wanted ethnic tension to escalate in Ethiopia. That is why people should only call for investigation. They should put pressure upon government to conduct impartial investigation into what happened in Dera, North Shore of Oromia. Thank you for watching.